Hello everyone, how you doing today? Just wanted to show you some new stuff, some updates to the Cerberus that I've been working on, and a couple creations by other authors, and give you kind of a status update on everything here. I'm just kind of got this little setup here with a bunch of spawned-in Skaar stuff mainly, and a little bit of Creole stuff out in the background. Um, yeah, pretty cool. Just to let you know what's going on with this is a creative scenario by Scarly, and I'll show you more about that a little bit later. But this is one of the planets in the creative scenario. This one is a yellow metal planet, burnt metal planet. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, and it's fitting with the Skaar. I mean, they can work in deserts and this kind of thing. Everything like that. Well, to start out the video here, what I wanted to first show you is all the updates done to the Skaar-Cerberus, and I think the official name will just be Skaar-Cerberus PSV2, as it's getting changed quite a bit from the original. And don't mind some missing blocks here and there right now. I'm deeply involved in the interior of the ship at this point in time, but exterior wise, I've made a few changes. I did add in a drill turret. Now, I originally was going to put in some drills, physical drills, like a set of 6 over here, and I decided, nah, it'd be better having a turret in the first place. And not to mention, it's probably easier to mine with. It's got a pretty good location for doing that kind of thing. I did add some more turrets down here below, though. And I added some more launchers to the ship as well. So originally I had 4 pulse launchers and 2 rocket launchers. I've changed that now so it has 6 pulse launchers and 4 rocket launchers, going up to the maximum of what is allowed in game rules. And the thinking behind that was, if you're going to get into that kind of combat and use these kind of weapons, then you might as well have the full damage potential per shot. And that's why, like when you fire a pulse launcher, you're going to fire all 6 of them. And same with the rocket launcher, you're going to fire all 4 rockets at once. And that just, to me, makes a whole lot more sense. Now, other things, I did finish up the back end of the ship. Kind of minus some missing blocks over here for sure, though. I've got, yeah, I'm rebuilding some things in there and gutting out parts of the inside right now and replacing it with new stuff. Speaking of the inside, yeah, no sensor there. I'm working on the hangar. I have been kind of going over a lot of this now. It's not finally detailed or anything like that yet. In fact, it's a little. It's not lit well. I got like one light sitting there. But yeah, it's a work in progress. It's getting done. I gutted the entire interior of this ship and decided to start over, which I had to anyway because I wanted to get rid of most of the combat steel blocks used for the interior anyway. So I ended up rebuilding this entire like wall between the hangar and the rest of the ship, and I'm kind of working my way along the sides here. Simulating exactly what was there kind of before, like with these walk paths and things that went up above the hangar doors that go to some storage rooms that are out and back of the ship, which I'm going to have to obviously rebuild all of that yet, and then tweak and detail everything. Now, I did make a choice on this one. At first, I was thinking about putting the crafting or the storage in the hangar area like I do on most ships this day and time. On this one, I decided not to, for a couple reasons. One, the hangar's not super wide. In fact, it's just the maximum width, well, through a big chunk of it, is exactly aligned with the hangar door itself, or a 7 by 13 door. If I were to put in like advanced constructors over here, you'd want at least a block wall on the outside and then 2 blocks on the inside, and maybe even something in front of that. Basically, it would start really sucking up hangar space, which I wanted to keep it as open as I could. Now, I did add in a couple little constructors and a couple boxes up front here just for whatever quick storage. But I left the ship how it originally was set up, and that is going up to the crafting area here, which is all new. It originally had its crafting zone just, you know, an elevator jump away from the hangar. And I'm doing the same thing here again. So what I did is I've got 4 advanced constructors, I've got 4 320k storage bins, I've got another 320k harvest, and 80k ammo all in this little constructor alley here. Now I also reworked how the farms are gonna work. In the past, the bulk of the farm, it actually had like 2 small little farms on one on each side here, and then it had its big farm up top here. I decided to move the farms down to the same floor as all the other function stuff, all your survival function and crafting. So it's like right there in this big complex, I guess you can say, when you get to the top of the elevator, so everything's convenient. And also it leads straight up to the bridge, which is also convenient for gameplay, so everything's kind of tight and close together. There will be a new wall here separating these 2 rooms from the bridge, or this area from the bridge. And this front part here will have a lot more of the function in there, like Pentaxa tank and oxygen and armor repair and armor locker and fridges and all the other fun stuff that you would want for a nice crafting farming section of the ship. And then this top area, undoubtedly, since I really don't have any more function to add here for gameplay use, would probably be fluff, I guess. I can't think of anything useful for gameplay to really put in here. So probably have like some kind of little sitting area and probably some crew quarters and things like that in this general section, which I think will work out fine. It's out of the way, and I also changed it so you can just take the elevator. Well, I got to make some modifications here, but you'd just be able to take the elevator there, and there's not a stairway per se in this section that it used to have that went up to the kind of weird farm section. So I actually like this layout better. It doesn't have as many grow plots as it had before. Could add a lot more to the ship, but I don't think they're really necessary. It's got 6 of these 18 grow plot chunks. I might get them all on separate switches for the lights as well. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, also I've been working on the engineering area. This is getting mostly done, at least in the front area. So I've got all the main parts placed now. We have our warp core similar to the same place it used to be, but I also popped in a shield here. Now I don't have a block separation between the two. I kind of prefer to. Maybe I'll restructure this a little bit. And another thing I got to do too is bulk up this front area here. I cut in here pretty hard to get in this other turret in the center here, but then I'm looking at yeah, you see that? That's bad. There's hardly any block row space here, so I'm going to have to bulk this out, even if I got to remove that turret and fill this area in with a lot more blocks. It needs to be more protected there. So that is on my to-do list. But other than that, it's definitely coming along quite well. Now, this Sunday, I released this guy over here and the Glaive, not Grave. Hopefully a Grave for the bad guys. The Glaive T4, and this was also used in Excalibur's live stream on the last one, and flying it around, engaged a lot of POIs with it. I was happy. I was very happy with the ship. In the end, I didn't pull back every time and took some hits just to take some hits. I could have fled every time the shield went down, but sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. I did take some damage to the ship. Looking at it in the live stream, I realized I lost 2 of these turrets up here, and I did lose the drone hatch double door setup here. There's actually 2 of them, but that was about it. And honestly, I think the integrity of the ship, the way it was set up, I think should be I mean, for what it's for, really going after POIs and other things, front attacks, um, it's set up pretty well for that. And some of these other things like this thruster here in the center, which could be lost. I mean, if you had a full load of cargo, you wouldn't want to lose this thruster. But this thing's got 3,200 hit points. It can be blown out, and your ship's still operational. And that's in between all the other block rows of stuff between you and the cabin. The cabin doesn't start till after this block row here, and these are full count or hardened steel blocks all along the thruster here and all back in here. There is a little row here I left open just to give it some separation for explosion damage. Trying to save a little bit of weight if possible. Could be filled in, of course, or even leg shot blocks or something could be added in. But I'm not sure on the relevance of leg shot blocks anymore. It was a thing. I heard it was fixed where you don't need them. I can't say that to be true one way or the other. I don't know. But that's out. And this guy over here, I think since this is Skaar's main combat ship, or the high-end or higher-end combat SV, this one I think I'm going to convert to a storage vessel. It'll be more like one of the transits, like the CH-5. I would say something like that. Try to bulk it up with a lot of storage and give it some heavy lift thrust. It's probably going to add more lift thrust to it than what it currently has, but I probably also will cut a lot of the weapons in the process too. So I'll leave a couple so you can shoot down some drones and stuff like that, but it's really going to be more of a cargo vessel. And then there's this other guy over here, the where is it? The butterfly ship. This one would be more of a medium fighter. So I'll keep this combat oriented. It's not near as tough as the Glaive, but would be cheaper and, you know, with a shield and everything, probably pretty effective. Except, you know, one of the big things is it does have the cockpit up front. It is a armored cockpit, so I mean it's got 1,800 hit points, but it is up front and would probably be susceptible to fire on it. So that's kind of the deal on this one. It would be cheaper than the Glaive though. And this one over here I also have to finish up sometime. This is my experimental illegal plasma fighter ship. And it's, I think I've showed this before, and its big thing is it's running 11 plasma launchers all separated by one row, going right down through the center of the ship, which actually when you fire this kind of puts out like a big stream of each plasma thing in as tight as areas I could possibly do it, all separated by a block, which does do devastating damage to a building, or actually almost guaranteed to breach the hull in one round. And with plasma you can keep firing and firing and firing and actually blow holes through buildings very quickly. It's illegal because it's running far more plasma launchers than what's allowed in game rules. Other than that, everything else would be legal. It would be legal CPU, legal blocks, legal parts, everything else, but except the weapon count. It's a lot like the Merc Mav that way. The Merc Mav had 12 rocket launchers on it. It was one of the more fun ships ever built. I was always hoping that CPU would work a little differently so you could specialize in a type of weapon system on a SV. Like this one, you know, would be plasma. You could, you know, the Merc Mav was a rocket oriented one. It would be weak against other ships. You know, PvP, it would be very weak against ships that can target it and shoot it well. But for taking out turrets on POIs and stuff, it's a really good ship for it. Because one hit will guarantee to take out your target. And this kind of works that way too. I think one hit or maybe two would take out any turret out there. So yeah, it's a fun one. I got to finish that up. Next release I'm probably going to do is the Scar Pilgrim. Where did I put one? I got too many toys out of the chest right now. Yeah, this guy over here. This was also used in the live stream. I'll look over it. It's possible I might make a couple modifications to it prior to release, but it'll probably be next Sunday release. So I got some time to look it over and see what changes I would like to make on it. The base isn't super expandable. Well, it is for like farming and things like. Oh yeah, look at that. I gotta. This one's not even finished. Huh. How did I screw that up? Well, anyway. And one other thing I was thinking about doing is changing. It's got a ladder on the outside, which I happen to like actually, that goes up to this big solar array, which also doubles as a legit spawning pad. So I think, or landing pad, spawning pad. So that works out quite well. I didn't even realize when I built this that you could land craft up here and it counts just like any other block landing pad. So that's really cool. And for its cost, this is a cheap thing to spawn in the game, and it comes with quite a lot of defense against drone attacks and things like that right off the gates. It's just not very expandable with, you know, if you want to put in other stuff, I think you just have to kind of add parts like, you know, up here at a tier block. If you want to add in a storage system, blow away the floor pieces, replace them with cargo extensions, and add your controller somewhere along the way here, which is actually very quick and easy to do. It's just, it doesn't tell you necessarily that that's an upgrade path for it, but it works. So that's kind of my take on this one. I can't mess with this anymore. I can't add anything more to this base due to its complete right on the edge of CPU. Well, I guess I could add, like, I think that's a couple more blocks if needed, but I can't add anything to the base or more space for, you know, other things and stuff like that. If you add in a tier block, like a tier 2 block, which are not too hard to come across or build, you could upgrade these constructors to advanced. You could add in, say, another power generator somewhere that you find room for. Kind of reconfigure your space a little bit. It's just kind of but it's got all the functionality for like almost a co-op play starting base, and that's what I wanted it to have. Hopefully by the time you outgrow this base, you find yourself in a nice CV, or you upgrade to something like the Skaar Crawler, which is far more set up for, you know, end game base type play. Let's see what else is going on here. Oh yeah, okay, something I really wanted to show you here, and this is the Skaar Ravanger by Darth Zaphod. Zaphod. I'm not sure if it's Hod or Hod, but I don't care because you know what? This ship is really, really cool. When I just seen it yesterday, first time I released that Skaar Glaive and seen this up on the workshop. I'm like, oh my god, that looks very Skaar-like. And then I read the name and I'm like, oh my god, it's Skaar. And I was really excited, and I still am. I mean, this thing is really, really cool. It certainly has a lot of Raider looks to it. Like I've got the Skaar Raider over here. Obviously, the Skaar Raider is a tiny ship in comparison, but it really kind of emulates that quite a lot. And for a little bit there, it does such a good job with emulating it that I was wondering, you know, when I first looked at it briefly in the screenshots, I was like, did they just take the Raider and, like, you know, make it bigger and copy and paste? And no. And I can say, no, this is all original. This entire ship is original. Everything about it, I would know. I mean, I know the block structures and the works. And although a lot of this looks fitting, I mean, similar, it is it's a totally new build. Um, and that is very, very cool because it really fits the whole Raider Skaar look. And this is more of a carrier, I would say, because it's got a massive cargo area plus a lot of additional landing pads. Um, some areas, I mean, like this area here has, I mean, if you look at the back of this and then you look at the back of the Raider, you see a lot of similarities, but if you look closely, it's all different. There's nothing same about it. Um, and that is really, really cool. And the same idea with the thruster assemblies and everything. It kind of has some cues from the Raider, but it is 100% original custom work done. And the detail levels are insane. I can imagine this ship took a long time to build. And I think it even says so on the workshop description about it. And then inside too, it's certainly Skaar. It's got the same things going on. Yeah, check out this hangar. This hangar is massive. It's like Persis carrier hangar. Um, and that is sweet. And it's got a whole bunch of storage built into the walls around it. It has this big constructor area set up over here. You got lower and upper constructors, more integrated storage, um, power button. That's really really nice feature too. These things just use power. Harvest bay up here, so this also does harvesting. Um, yeah, 5 hangar doors, so it looks like a bunch of these on the side, and then a big one on the back. And some elements too, like the Skaar Raider, because I had some extra space I really didn't know what to do with. I put in something like this, um, which was just kind of fun because it was like basically I was storing parts back here, and it's like, hey, what if we just put out this little plank thing, and they could like terrorize prisoners and threaten to throw them over the edge so they fall and get hurt or something. I don't know, like walking the plank on a pirate ship. You know what I mean? So that was the idea behind that, but that's even been incorporated in here as well, and another one like that up front over here too. So slick. Um, and check this out. Oh, this is the warp core. That's a really cool way of how this was done. So the Metaxa tank is actually integrated almost as in a structure that goes to the warp core. That's slick. That's very slick. Definitely like that. And we've got a greatly increased farm section as well. So I think a lot more farm plots than the original ship had, and separated in their own room area. And traveling on here, what do we got here? We've got spotlights, heavy lift mode, mining turrets, mining drills. So it's got both turrets and drills. Let me kick all that stuff on there. Heavy lift mode. Okay, that's cool. And then you're off to the bridge here, and a bigger bridge also. I mean, the whole ship's bigger. Now, the Skaar Raider was a size class 5. This one is a size class 21. So this is a big ship. Just taking it flying through the hall here a minute. Yeah, it's just an incredible amount of work done to it. It's very, very detailed. It's textured awesomely. Oh, look at this oxygen storage area. That's pretty slick. Looks like it has a lot of oxygen. Big hangar. A lot of landing pads. And this balcony up here along the side gets you out to these landing pads. Yeah, no, this is extremely impressive. I added this to the Skaar collection, so you can find it there as well. Awesome work on this, Darth. I got to say this right. Zaphod or Zaphod? Whatever. I suck. English, it's my native language, but yet I suck at it. So there is that. Now, moving on, another creation I wanted to show, and this was actually up for a little while now, and I meant to show it on a past video. Let me get a little bit more light here going on. and this is the Kriel-Prospecto. This is by Allessia, and it is a top-mounting SV miner designed to work, looks like, with the bays inside the Creole Overseer war carrier, which would top mount up over here. Now, Author Typhoon made another creation for this as well that's in the Creole collection, which is a HV miner that also top mounts over on these docking bays. So this is a SV miner to go with that. And yeah, but due to the restrictions on the bay sizes and everything, you can't get too exotic with this kind of craft because it has to fit in that very tight area. Yeah, it's nicely done on the inside too. Some pretty cool LCDs. Your ammo. Wow, ammo. 32K of ammo? Is that for real? Oh, what am I looking at? Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of ammo. So, but you know, as of when I was playing the game as well, I was realizing too that, I mean, you don't have to put ammo in ammo bays. So, but ammo also works in ammo bays. So it's kind of, you know, when it's said and done, at the end of the day, do you really need one that just says storage, as opposed to one that can hold storage and ammo? Or the same thing goes on with harvesting. There's obviously a regular storage bay, there's an ammo bay, and a harvest bay. But since the harvest bay and the ammo bay allow you to put everything in there, does one even need a storage bay? So yeah, we also have a 32K harvest bay here. So I understand. Why at first I was like, geez, man, that is so much ammo, it's ridiculous. I don't think this would have near enough guns to facilitate that much ammo, but you'd probably use it as storage, mostly, but also throw your ammo in there. So that makes a lot of sense, actually. Anyway, awesome work, Allessia, and very, very cool. I brought in the one Creole POI that I have not finished yet. I really should look at this one some more. It was close. I'm probably about 4 or 5 hours away from finishing this POI, or more. Yeah, when I look at these big open areas of unfinished stuff, I think yeah, that's gonna take a little more than that. Probably okay. So we'll give it another 8 hours. I'd say I'd probably finish it. Yeah, maybe I'll look at that again here sometime. Now, other than that, that's pretty much all I wanted to show you today. And now one thing, last thing I wanted to bring up too is about almost a month ago, give or take a couple days, I did submit the Skaar Citadel and the Skaar faction to Empyrion, and I have to say I got no response at all from it. So I've, in light of that, I'm just abandoning all work on any more POIs for the Skaar. I had 2 other POIs I started. One was the underground subway kind of thing, and the other one was going to be a junkyard POI. But you know, I can't do anything with the POIs myself if they don't make it to the game. It's best I can do is maybe send it out to the bakers of Project Eden and Reforged Galaxy and see if they want them, or like this one here. But at this point in time, I would say no, I don't think Elyon's interested in the Skaar faction. At least they are not interested in responding to me about it. So, excuse me. So in my opinion, it was purely plain and simply a gift. I probably got about 50 hours into building this POI, and probably another 4 or 5 hours testing it and tweaking it. Um, and it was a gift. I can't really do anything with it on my own workshop. All these other things I build, people can spawn them and use them right in their game. POIs are a different can of worms. Unless you're a scenario creator, you're not going to get this in your game unless you build a custom scenario for it and know all the ins and outs of that. So why I don't release POIs to the workshop is because it can be very complicated. In fact, when I first tried to bring a POI into my own game, even looking at information online on steps to follow, I did something wrong and I broke my entire game and had to reinstall it. So, well, I probably should have backed up some files before I edited them, but I was an idiot. But anyway, it gets tricky and complicated, and it's why I don't want to release a POI to the workshop. And if it doesn't make it to the game, I'm just sitting here with a bunch of wasted time on something that no one will ever really get to see or use in the game. And I looked at it as, hey guys, here's a free gift for your game. If you can't even respond, then I'd be sure not to do it again. And that's pretty much how I stand there. So I've given them an awful lot already, and I don't necessarily appreciate that lack of any kind of feedback or response. One other thing, a bit negative, sorry about the negative, guys, is a couple of my base Skaar creations, the two that I started the whole faction with, the Raider and the Crawler. Unfortunately, in the last month or so, just keep on increasing on negative ratings, even though they've been out for many months already. They just they got neg rated to death now, so you won't even find them on the first page anymore. They're somewhere else. That's unfortunate. Not sure what or why. Usually, back when there was a lot of that foul play going on in the workshop, it was usually done in the first week of release. In this case, no, it wasn't. Really, it had some negative ratings, but more than almost tripled in negative ratings over the last few weeks. So why that is, don't know. It doesn't. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter to me. But whatever. Just wanted to throw that out there. Not sure why, or what happened, or anything. But yeah, I know a couple discouraging things, but yeah, but some really encouraging things like, yeah, look at this. This is amazing. This is amazing. So yeah. Anyway, I'll keep at it. I'll keep on working on stuff. I'll reach out to the developers of Eden and Reforged to maybe throw a POI at them. And see if they want that or like that. It should be very unique to any other POIs in the game, as far as I know. I guess I'm sure I haven't seen all the POIs, so that's not a fair statement to say, but it should be very unique. Anyway, you all have yourself a good day. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll try to cook up another video here sometime pretty soon. Thanks a lot, all.